a research platform called Te Niwha, which will boost Aotearoa New Zealand's COVID-19 response and preparedness for emerging infectious disease threats, including future pandemics, is to be officially launched tomorrow by Minister Dr. Aisha Verrill at Tūranga Waiwai Marae. The infectious diseases research platform arose from the government's announcement of a $36 million research fund last year with Institute of Environmental Science and Research, or ESR, and Otago University appointed as joint hosts. Te Niwha co-director Te Pora Thompson from Ngāti Hauā is with us now. Tēnā koe, Te Pora, thank you so much for joining us.
Tēnā koe, Neil, pewhiana.
Talk to us about Te Niwha. What's its main purpose and objectives?
So Te Niwha comes from our tongikura of Kingi Tāwhiao, kia niwha te ngā kai ki te whakau, ngā mahi atawhai o te iwi. Be steadfast, be strong, be brave for all that you need to do to take care of the people. So it frames the values, the aspirations and the priorities of Te Niwha, which is to ensure that we have the research for pandemic preparedness, emerging infectious diseases threats.
Yeah, so an apt name for what you're trying to accomplish. What role do iwi play, will iwi play in the success of Te Niwha?
Iwi play a significant role. Te Niwha is about partnerships. We have co-hosts between ESR and Otago. We have co-directorship between tangata whenua, a tangata tiriti, so it follows through with the partnership that is required to actually move this ahead. We know that, and I've said this on the show before, iwi stood up, communities, hapuri, marae stood up from 2020 and have been standing up ever since. So they play a significant role in bringing the needs of the people on the ground. The people should power the science, not the other way around.
So how important then will it be to build on the experiences of the past 2 years?
Again, that's significant. So one of the first things that we are doing is pulling together a landscape map. Who's who in the zoo? What's the burden of disease? What's the impact on the decisions that have been made? And what level of research funding has gone into infectious diseases? We know that out of that, though, despite all good intents and purposes, there will be a gap in that knowledge and information because it simply won't be there. And that information comes from the people on the ground. What does work to get our babies vaccinated, to get our people to engage with health services so that they're cared for a lot earlier? Once we bring that in, then we have a complete picture, enough to be able to say, here is our roadmap for the next 3 years.
Now, if we consider infectious disease threats of the future, what have we learned over the past few years that could help prevent some of the inequities that occurred during COVID?
Trust the iwi. Trust Māori to be able to get on with what they need to. Trust the people that are closest to the people that are most vulnerable, that are most affected by infectious diseases. We can roll it out into a wide scope, but being, you would quite often use the word holistic, which means our wai, which means our kai, which means our whenua, our whole environment must be taken into account to care for our people, because that's how we operate.
Now, Te Pora, you have a wealth of experience in local, regional, national Māori advisory positions, including helping to bridge civil defence, iwi, local government, DHB responses during 2020 COVID-19 outbreak. So you have some personal objectives and a role at Te Niwha. Now, I want to talk more about this, but I'm not sure we have time to do this. So we're going to have to obviously talk some more. I want to talk right at the moment about what's happening at the launch itself tomorrow, what we can expect the launch to look like.
The launch will be at Tūranga Waiwai Marae, which came about from the 1918 Spanish flu. That in itself is a significant marker and indication of where we're going with Te Niwha. We will go through the pōwhiri and have a presentation of the Te Niwha tohu. The minister will speak, our co-host will speak, our iwi leaders will speak as well. But it's a time really to bring people together. I tell you what is different about this launch symposium, especially the symposium, is that we're coming from a values, a principle base. We're having good workshops led by Norm Hill, an environmental scientist consultant, to say, actually, let's not say co-design, but let's check in on what that actually means. So let's talk about principles like kaitiakitanga, tūhonotanga, rangatiratanga, whanaungatanga, because that runs in a logical format for us. There's a realignment that will happen through this symposium. Second day, we were out on the awa doing a te rehoi. So we talk about he waka e ke noa, but you never quite know what that means until you're in the waka on the awa, and you must mahi tahi. You must give aroha, respect and compassion for our awa and our environment and those that you're alongside. So that's a unique thing that we are doing in this symposium. We're building below the ground and up instead of starting somewhere that we never had an input into.
Beautiful. We can always talk more. Te Pora Thompson, Te Niwha co-director, thank you so much for joining us today and all the best for this launch. Ngā mihi.